This is Ramattra, Overwatch 2's newest hero. He's a tank that has been classified as a tempo tank, combining various playstyles that allow him to transition between his Omnic and his Nemesis form. Cool, but is he going to destroy the fun for everyone? Let's find out. Oh, it came out of nowhere, and then he's giving you that death stare. Well, I mean, you can't quite see his eyes, but you can definitely assume that he's just staring at you. Let's go over his abilities and see what Ramattra does, and see how we can play around this as support mains. Pressing F1 opens up the menu. Here we see weapons and ultimate, Void Accelerator, Omnic form. Fire a stream of projectiles in a fixed pattern with your left click. What? Is it hard to track? I mean, it is a little bit hard to track with it, I'll give you that. Like, you actually need to lead the shots. I don't think this is gonna be that broken, but I do suspect that it's going to be a pain in the ass to actually play against him if you're playing someone like Ana or Zenyatta, for example, and just want to stay in one spot, and he can just, like, jiggle his aim like this. Create a barrier at the targeted location. Oh, I'm holding right click now. How far can I put it? Okay, that's roughly the distance. Okay, let me create it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 seconds. Okay. This is while in his Omnic form. Now, if we go in his Nemesis form, also known as his Giga Chad form, with his left click, he punches forward, creating a wave of piercing energy with every swing. Ah, and this goes through people, by the way. And right click significantly reduces damage taken from the front and reduces movement speed. How long can I hold it? I can hold it forever! So for the entire duration of this, I can actually hold it to block damage. I do move slow though. The Ravenous Vortex. Put them in the ground. I can use it in both forms. And I see some, I want to say ritualistic stuff. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. What is that? How do they define it? Fire a nanoball, which explodes when it hits the ground, spreading a damaging field. Affected enemies are slowed and pulled downward. So wait, I want to see how slow it is. Come here. Okay, I have cookies. Devour them. Oh, that's a big slow. I think it's 40%. I might be wrong. That is actually a big slow. In his Omnic form, from what we see, he has 450 HP. And if he goes in Nemesis form, he has 600 HP. His ultimate. Annihilation. Enter Nemesis form and create an energy swarm surrounding yourself. This swarm will lash out towards nearby enemies, dealing damage and pausing the duration when damage is dealt. Yeah, so I extend my Nemesis form. Oh, this is a big radius, dude. This is huge. And you see that when they're not in range, the timer gets paused. But in theory, I can keep it going forever. Oh my god. Some supports will suffer a lot from this, dude. Some heroes will suffer a ton. And some heroes will profit, of course. And I can always exit it, by the way, if I press left shift again. So these are his abilities. Kind of strong, if you ask me. Let's theory craft a little bit what supports can do to him and how supports can influence his gameplay. Let's go over how easy it is to heal Ramattra, right? So, considering the fact that he doesn't have any mobility skill whatsoever, I think that he is probably one of the easiest tanks to heal in the game, alongside Reinhardt. If you think of it, Reinhardt is actually a little bit harder to heal than Ramattra because he can pin into the enemy backline, while Ramattra can't do it. So if you want to play a support that focuses a bunch on healing, then pairing that support up with Ramattra will result in a bunch of wins. He's definitely one of the easiest tanks to heal. How many resources Ramattra needs? Now, this is a question that I always ask myself whenever I play Overwatch and I check my team comp out. What I mean by this is how much healing and other resources does a tank need? So, I would say that Ramattra is one of the neediest tanks in the game. I know that this is good news for Ramattra players, but it's not good news for support players. Why? Because this will encourage more of a heal bot type of playstyle in which the supports are going to try and stay as close as possible to Ramattra and try to pump in as much healing as they possibly can. In Overwatch, there are a couple of heroes that do not need healing in order to regenerate their HP, okay? They have like some ways of their own of doing so. For example, Roadhog has his self-heal. Sigma has his shields, so in case he takes a bunch of damage, he will probably hide into a corner until his shields regenerate back up. Junker Queen needs some healing, right? But she also has a bleed that heals her up a little bit. Some tanks that have a similar needy type of playstyle like Ramattra has are Reinhardt and Winston. Because they have no way of regenerating their HP. They don't have shields, they don't have lifesteal. What are you looking at, Winston? He's like, are you talking about me? Huh? What are you saying about me? So they have no shields, they only have armor, they cannot heal themselves because they don't have a heal, they don't have a bleed effect or anything. And they don't have huge mobility, I would say, like a hero like Ball has. Because, for example, if Ball takes a lot of damage and he's not getting a bunch of heals, then he will just run away to a health pack. And this is the face he's going to make. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, this means that Ramattra needs a ton of resources. Now let's think about which supports can you play in order to keep your Ramattra alive sufficiently so that he reaches his maximum potential. What I mean by this is, who can heal him up enough so that he doesn't die and actually does stuff? Ana definitely can heal up a Ramattra. She has a bunch of healing and the Biotic Grenade will help her in case Ramattra gets low really fast with a bunch of burst healing. So Ana, yes. Baptiste, hell yes. Regenerative Burst, the healing grenades, and also Immortality Field in case Ramattra is going to be super low. I think that Baptiste can keep up with a Ramattra quite easily. Brig. All TikTok Brigs reporting for duty. You can play your Paladin playstyle by buddying up with your Ramattra in the front line. It will be very easy to keep him alive. I think that Brig's healing will be actually close to sufficient. I don't think it's going to be enough. Like, you play Brig and Ramattra and the other support doesn't care about you. But this should be pretty close to actually enabling him to the maximum. So, you still need a little bit more healing from your other support, but she should do the majority of it. Kiriko definitely will work with Ramattra. The healing is enough, I would say. And additionally, the Suzu will help Ramattra in case he's getting low, plus to avoid any burst damage. And one more thing, I think that Kitsune Rush plus Ramatra's ultimate will be unstoppable. Lucio. Lucio's healing potential is quite low, so I'm actually gonna say that if you want to pick Lucio to heal up your Ramattra, you can do it by yourself, and you'll pick Lucio for another reason that I'm going to get into pretty soon. Mercy. Okay, if you pick Mercy to pocket your Ramattra, then I think that there will be better options. Why did she look away from me when I said that? She's like, no, what are you talking about? In theory, yes, you can heal up your Ramattra, right? In theory, I think that your healing is sufficient. But actually, you should probably focus more on your DPSs. So I would think that yes, you can make her work, but it will be suboptimal. Moira. Definitely Moira will work. It's easy to heal Ramattra. You're both gonna be in range. The healing orb and the spray that Moira has with her left click is more than enough to help Ramattra walk into the front lines. Zenyatta. I'm sorry, Zenyatta. He's angry at me. Oh, no, he's happy. He's like, oh, okay, I can stay this season on the bench as well, right? I think that Zenyatta's healing is not sufficient to pair him up with Ramattra. The orb, the Harmony orb, offers just too little healing to make him a viable pick. As in, I am the support that will focus on healing Ramattra so that he can pop off. Now that we've seen which supports can keep Ramattra alive, as in definitely can keep Ramattra alive, let's think about the other supports that will not keep him alive, but will help him get enabled in other ways. That's smirk though. Okay, so Lucio will, I think, 99.99% will be a must pick with Ramattra. The speed boost covers Ramattra's biggest weakness, which is his lack of mobility. So if you see a Ramattra in your team, I strongly recommend picking a Lucio to just stay with him and speed boost him around so he can get in range of the enemies, plus another main healing support that I covered earlier. Now let's go over the best support combos that you can run with Ramattra. I think that Lucio is probably the best support that you can pair up with Ramattra because he covers his biggest weakness, which is his lack of mobility. Lucio with his speed boost will help Ramattra get in range of the enemies, thus allowing his kit to be effective. So I'm set in stone with saying that Lucio will be a must pick with Ramattra. Now about the other support, because Lucio doesn't give that much healing, as we said earlier, the strongest combo will be Lucio, Kiriko, Ramattra. Why? Because Kitsune Rush plus Ramattra will be incredibly broken. Additionally, in case Ramattra needs to tank a big burst of damage, then Kiriko will have an easy time Suzuing for Ramattra right when he's about to take damage. Plus, the amount of healing that Kiriko has is amazing. To add to this, whenever you're playing in comps in which people stay together, usually the support that pumps the most healing / damage, what's she looking at? Huh? Did he say healing? Okay, is the one that's going to be focused a ton. And in this case, Kiriko has a huge escape. The Swift Step is amazing. So this is why I'm going to put Lucio Kiriko as the strongest support combo that you can run with Ramattra. Okay, this is a bit of a wild take, but remember back in the betas when the meta was Lucio, Brig, Junker Queen, everybody just stacking together and stuff? Well, I think that we can definitely see Brig, Lucio, Ramattra being played. I think that this combo is kind of underrated and teams will definitely try to force it. I say give it a shot. I might be wrong about this, but I can definitely see a world in which Lucio, Brig, and Ramattra stay together and they just are unkillable in the front line. The third option I would go for is probably Lucio plus Baptiste. Why? Because Immortality Field, Regenerative Burst, and a bunch of AoE healing. Same principle as Brig, but I feel like this lineup will be a little bit easier to kill. This is why I'm ranking it as number 3 and like the best support combos that you can run with Ramattra. Number 4, Lucio plus Moira. I think that Lucio plus Moira is a budget comp that you can run with Ramattra. The reason why is the other support that I've talked about previously bring some utility to the team. Meanwhile, the only source of utility that Moira brings is healing. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, you only bring healing and a little bit of damage, and that's it. Yes, she has high survivability, so in case you want to play Lucio Ramattra plus a support that can heal a ton, and you cannot play Kiriko, you cannot play Brig, you cannot play Baptiste, then probably just play Moira, and when the enemies want to go for you, just use your Swift Step. Okay, so you can Swift Step? Use your Fade. It's called Fade, ML7. Use your Fade to escape the enemies. The fifth combo that I can see played with Lucio is Lucio plus, with Ramattra, is Lucio plus Ana. Why? Because nanoing Ramattra will be kind of strong. I think you can get value out of your nades and sleep darts if everybody stays grouped up together, but it is not optimal because Ana still has a big issue in Overwatch 2, which is the lack of mobility. And in case she doesn't get a lot of buffs, I don't see her being played in a brawl comp compared to other supports. I think that she excels in comps that play from medium to long range and not in grouped up team comps in Overwatch 2. And Lucio Ramattra will require you to stay grouped up, so Ana is definitely not optimal. Now, about Lucio, Mercy, Lucio, Zenyatta, this is okay, but Mercy gets more value out of damage boosting DPSs, and Zenyatta plus Lucio will not be sufficient healing. And this is why I'm not covering this, actually. Now, let's go over step by step with what supports can do in theory to counter Ramattra. Let's go with Ana first. So, Ana can sleep dart him quite easily, right? Like, you have to just wait for him to not use his shield to be gone, and then that's it. That's a free sleep dart. Same principle, that's a free nade. There's no way for him to like block the nade. So if you keep your distance from Ramattra, Ana in theory should work. If you're not gonna die from the other enemies focusing you down, that is. Baptiste. With his recent buff, in which he received increased fall off range, it means that he can like stay grouped up to the enemies, but he can stay grouped up to his allies, but he can also play from a certain distance so that he's not going to be in the range of Ramattra. So yes, you can shoot Ramattra, but that's it. Shooting him and just do some damage to him and he shouldn't be able to get to you. Additionally, you also have your exo boots that help you reposition to high ground, where Ramattra is going to have a hard time getting to you. So, but these can work against Ramattra, definitely. Brig versus Ramattra. If you're paired up with a strong tank that can follow up your brawling playstyle, then I can definitely see Brig doing something to Ramattra, right? We've seen that he doesn't have that much mobility. He actually doesn't have mobility at all. So a whip shot onto a Ramattra will be a pain for him. So keep that in mind and start practicing your whip shots. Kiriko. Okay, Kiriko. Everybody knows that Suzu's annoying and Suzu will continue to be annoying. And also you cannot actually kind of catch a Kiriko, so her survivability against Ramattra will be amazing. Can Kiriko take down a Ramattra? It's going to be hard considering her only source of damage are the kunai, but it's not impossible. So I could definitely see Kiriko being played more as more of a support that doesn't struggle against Ramattra, but doesn't counter him either. Lucio. You should never die from a Ramattra if you're playing Lucio. You have mobility, you can boop him away, you speed boost away, you're gonna be annoying. You're gonna be super annoying. So, Lucio enables Ramattra, but also kind of counters him as he helps his entire team disengage from him. So, yeah, Lucio I would say is probably a counter to Ramattra. Mercy. Yeah, I think that Mercy can work against Ramattra. Why? Because initially, I feel like everybody is going to try to play Ramattra by staying grouped up together. So Lucio plus the 5 supports that I said earlier will probably be the team comps that we're going to see a lot. But as you've been thinking, probably, you have noticed that in theory, Poke can work against him. And in what team comps is Mercy best? In Poke team comps. As in team compositions that don't want to fight close quarters, they want to keep their distance and slowly but surely kill the enemies. Imagine some archers in medieval warfare. I hope I got my war history right. So TLDR, if Mercy keeps her distance and damage boosts the DPSs that have a bunch of damage against the Ramattra, then the second he's going to close the distance to his enemies is the second that he's going to die. So Mercy strong against Ramattra? Probably, yeah. Moira. Moira's not going to do anything specifically to Ramattra, but I don't think that Ramattra is going to give her a hard time. The Fade is enough to escape his range, and also that's it. She can do easy damage to him. She has to kind of get engaged to do damage to him, but that's not her job. Her job is to heal. Unless you're a TikTok Moira, that is. Zenyatta. Okay. Boom. Okay. Zenyatta is not as bad as I made it seem earlier. Yes, keep on smiling. Imagine if he's going to make a sad face now. So the thing with Zenyatta is, I think that he can actually work against Ramattra, but he will struggle against the other heroes in Ramattra's team. Why? Because as we've discussed earlier with Mercy, Zenyatta is super good in Poke. Okay? So Zenyatta can keep his distance from Ramattra, plus kick him away in case he gets in range. And Transcendence is super good against his ultimate. But that's it. He keeps his distance, shoots him down, and if he wants to get in range, can just kick him away, discord him, and he should get melted. Now, can Zenyatta stay alive against the other heroes? We'll have to wait and see. I want to theorycraft a little bit what's going to happen to him so he can get more wins. So, I think that in the beginning, players will try to force a brawl playstyle with him, and what I mean by this is that you are going to get a ton of value out of team comps that stay grouped up together. So initially, everybody's going to huddle around the Ramattra, right? Same way as you would stay close to a Reinhardt. Everybody just stays grouped up, you walk together like a unit, and then you bum the enemies. Now, with time, if the hero is not that strong, with time, I think that we're going to start playing with heroes that can keep the distance away from him, okay? Can keep the distance away from him. So heroes like Ana, like Zenyatta, like Mercy, who don't need to be that close to their team, right? Like they can stay from medium to long distance / close to somebody, like Mercy needs to damage boost somebody, will probably be super strong against him. But initially, these heroes I feel like will be underwhelming. So This is my prediction. First, probably couple of months, we're going to see a ton of Lucio plus Kiriko, Moira, Brig, Baptiste, even Nana to a certain extent. And with time, we're going to realize that against Ramattra, it's better to just keep your distance, because if he gets close to you, you will lose. So Ana, Mercy, Zenyatta, Baptiste to a certain extent, because he can keep his range, and even Kiriko, because it's going to be incredibly hard to keep Kiriko, will probably be the preferred support picks. I hope that you found this video useful. If you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe, and also check out the secondary YouTube channel where I post a ton of educational content and also reactions from the stuff that I watch on stream. And if you really enjoy me, okay, that sounded wrong. If you really enjoy my content, then make also sure to hop on Twitch. You're always welcome there during the live streams as well. Have an amazing day. ML7 out.
Hey, I'm Olaf. If you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe. Meow.